Hello and welcome to a series that was voted for by my patrons over on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. And they voted for how to go about making a wave-based game mode. So let's get started and take a look through this short series of how to achieve this. In this first part, we're going to be setting up the basics of our enemies and our wave spawners and setting up our game mode with the basic functions and variables it's going to need. So let's take a look. So to get started with our wave game mode and talk about how it's going to work, we first of all need to create some enemies that are going to be spawned in, their spawn points, and how to first set up the game mode. So let's create first of all our basic enemies. So I'm going to create a blueprint class, and we're not going to do anything special. We'll just do a basic character, enemy, and open this up. And on the mesh, I'm going to add a stack mesh and give it a cone. So we know which way it's facing. Right? So we can go that way. And turn it around like that. There we go. So there is our enemy. And we're going to go to its event graph and we're going to create a custom event called move. And on the move, we can do AI move 2. Spawn will be self. And the destination will be a random point in the whole entire map. So random point in reachable radius. Get random reachable point in radius rather. For this, you need to give it an origin. So we're just going to give it its current location. So get actor location. And then the radius of how far they're going to look. So let's just put 3,000. Okay, so basically it's going to look anywhere in the level. We're not worried about the enemies in this tutorial series. We're just going to worry about the wave game mode. Obviously, the enemies you can spawn in are totally up to you and how you want to do them. Now, when successfully I have done the AI move 2, we're going to do a delay for 3 seconds, and then set move again. Okay, so it just goes in a loop, just wandering around. And on begin play, we just start off by going move. So on begin play, it goes to move here, finds a random point, moves to it. When it reaches that point, it'll wait for 3 seconds, and then it'll move again. And it goes on and on and on. So to make them move in the level, we need to have a nav mesh bounds volume. So we click on the little plus icon up here for the volumes and nav mesh bounds volume. We'll just drag that in and stretch that out over our level here. Like this. If we hit P on the keyboard, it will preview the nav mesh. All good there. So to test that it's working, we're going to drag in our enemy and hit play, and off they go. And he'll move again. Like so. So I'm just going to make them a bit slower and turn a bit nicer. So I'm going to go to class defaults and search for the word yaw, so Y-A-W, and turn off use controller rotation yaw. And instead, we're going to go to character movement component, go down to its rotation settings, and we're going to orient rotation to movement instead. So it'll rotate itself based on which way it's going. We then also want to go to its walk speed, and we'll turn it down to 300. Just so it's not so crazy having these things wandering around. So we should get a much nicer looking movement rotation on our character here. Okay. Excellent. So that's our enemy done. And that's all we're going to do for the enemy. I'm also going to make it so I can actually heal the enemy as well with my projectiles from the rifle here. So what I'm going to do is go to the projectile blueprint that comes with this first person template. And on the event here, we're going to, on the false here, apply damage. Damaged actor will be the other actor. Base damage we'll just do as 1. Damage causer self. And I want this to be both on true and false here. So we'll bring that down to there. And there you go. Okay. So it will now do damage to things. And if I go to my enemy and do any damage event, I can just do destroy actor. So something really simple that we can test this out on. We're not worried about anything special or anything at all. So if I go get this gun and shoot it, it'll be destroyed. Perfect. Okay, so what's next? Next is editing the game mode. Again, the game mode set up, ready for our wave game mode. And we also need some spawners too. So let's go ahead and create the spawners. So let's create a new blueprint class. It'll be an actor. And we'll do enemy spawner. And these will be placed around the map in set locations. And we'll be given instructions such as to spawn enemy and then build up a queue of how many it should spawn in. So let's go into our enemy spawner here. And I'm going to add a simple collision check on it. So I'm going to do a sphere collision. And just set a default radius for that. Be about 100. Maybe 50. There we go. And then in here, we're going to have the variable. And that'll be the number in the queue. So what enemies does it have queued up for it? So enemy queue is going to be a variable. And that'll be a variable type of enemy class. And it'll be enemy class references. So enemy class reference. And this will be an array. Okay. Now, on the function side of things, the spawner will have the basic job of spawning in enemies and removing them from the queue if there's an item in the queue. So let's go to our function here and add new function, spawn enemy. And this is first of all going to check to say whether enemy queue has anything in it. So what we can do is we're going to say is valid index 0. And if that means if there's anything in there at all, basically, it's going to be successful in this branch. If it doesn't have anything in it, then it will turn false and we want to escape out of the function straight away. So let's do return node. Now, when doing a function like this, it may be beneficial as well to also pass through a boolean to say whether or not it's successful in spawning said enemy. So I'm going to go to outputs and add a boolean called success. And I'll leave it unticked for this false if it means it's not had a chance to spawn anything in. But if it is valid, that means there's something in that enemy queue. So I'm going to get my enemy queue and get the first one in the list. So get 0. And I'm going to do spawn actor from class and plug that into the get there. The spawn transform will spawn on this enemy spawner's transform. We then will remove the enemy from the queue. So enemy queue, remove index 0. And when you remove index 0, it basically just slides everything along. So the first one will be taken out of the queue, and then a new one will become index 0. And then we want it to return successful. So that's our spawn enemy. We now want it to assign an enemy to our queue here as well. So when you're building out these sort of actors, you want to come up with the variables and you want to build functions that deal with these variables. So we've got one that removes it and spawns it from the queue. I'm going to add one function now to add enemy to the queue. So I go to my functions, go add enemy to queue, and we're then going to do enemy queue and then add to that list. We don't want to do add unique because we may have duplicates and we're allowed to have duplicates in this case, but we're going to pass through the pin here from add enemy to queue there. So on the inputs, we can now provide a parameter for which class of enemy to use. Now, when it's added an enemy to queue, we will want to make it check to see if it can spawn straight away. So the reason why it wouldn't spawn straight away is if there's an enemy that is recently spawned inside of its sphere still. So I'm going to take the sphere out and I'm going to check if anything is overlapping it. Is overlapping actor. Oh, sorry, is let's do overlapping, sorry. Overlapping, get overlapping actors. That's what we want. And the class filter here will be enemy. Like that. And if there's anything in there at all, enemy rated, this will return a size bigger than 1. So if the 0 index is valid, that means I don't want to spawn it straight away. If there is no such thing in that list, that means it's a completely spare, empty space there. It's free to spawn. I can take this false and I can tell the enemy to spawn with our enemy spawn, a spawn enemy function here. Okay. So there we go. We've got our 2 functions to help us manage our enemy queue. But let's talk about how we make it go through the queue again. So let's run through this. So we'll be calling add enemy to queue when we want to add one. It will then go through to spawn it because we haven't got one anywhere in it. But let's say let's add another one to the queue in that time frame where it's spawning another enemy. So spawn another enemy. It will go up to here and spawn actor, move index, and we get this return. In that space between it removing this, we want to set up a timer. So a little delay before it spawns another one in to try again. So we're going to take this return node and instead we're going to do set timer by event. By function, sorry. Function name. And we're going to take it to wait 2 seconds. And it'll wait 2 seconds before it tries to call this spawn enemy again. So I'm going to do spawn enemy. So it'll call it again, and if there's no one in the queue, then it'll just stop and return out. But if it does, it will spawn them in and then keep going through the queue each time. And there you go, there's our spawner. So more on these later on, but that'll do for now. So let's add that to our level here. Enemy spawner. And do another one over here. And another one over here. So I've got 3 spawners. Let me just delete this one guy here. And with these 3 spawners, what they're going to do is the game mode at the start is going to collect up all those spawners that it has available to it. It's then going to run through the motions of creating the various steps that are part of the wave game. So let's take a look at setting up those steps now. So I go to my first person folder, go to blueprints and go to the game mode. And we're going to block out our functions. The first function is going to be get spawners. Okay, and it's going to be a simple task where it's going to get all actors of class, get all actors of class, spawner. And then I'll promote that out actor here to a variable, spawners. We're also going to have a variety of functions such as start wave. Next one is going to be end wave. And then we're going to have enter transition. So the flow will be this. It will get spawners at the start of the game, and then it will start a wave. The end wave will happen when it's finished killing all the enemies associated to it, and then it will enter transition. When it enters the transition, it will wait a certain amount of time and then start wave again. Now this is also managed in a number of variables. We'll have wave number. So are you in wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We're also going to have the enemy count. So this is the amount of enemies that need to be killed per wave. This is calculated at the start of the wave, based upon what wave you're on, or any other factor that you've decided in your game's design. We're also going to have a variable for enemies killed. So add here, enemy killed. And that's going to keep track of how many enemies we've killed in the current round. And when that count has reached the enemy count, then we can clear it and go to the next round, next wave. So there you go, we've got the basic setup, we've got the enemies spawning in and moving around, we've got the spawners doing their job, and now we're going to be working on our game mode. So in part 2, expect to go over to the game mode and set up the main functionality of spawning our enemies in based on their waves. You can watch the next episode right now over on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. We can find all my videos early from just $1 a month, as well as take part in many of our activities such as the Creator Challenge and much more. Thank you so much for all my Patreon members for supporting the channel, and thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.